Trash Talkin.
I'm Reg.
I'm E. We've been off for a long time.
A lot of sickness here.
Sorry, I had pneumonia,
We
sorry.
finally got back.
Super Bowl hangover.
I know. We all had Super Bowl hangovers in the house. It was kind of a boring Super Bowl. First of all, before we get into the Super Bowl, happy retirement, Zach Martin. Just announced it 5 minutes ago. That's another career we wasted. Added to Witten, Romo, Dez, Dak still pending. So that's another
He'll
Jerry
have a job
Jones.
within
Oh,
a
he
week.
should.
ESPN or somebody will pick him up.
One of the greatest guards ever. He had more All-Pro selections than holding penalties in his career. That's ridiculous.
That's awesome.
So
Really?
we wasted him
That's huge.
because he's one of the greatest ever. We had
You
him,
wasted that whole line.
Aaron Smith,
We had the line. We
Travis
had one of the best lines ever.
Yeah, so
Jerry Jones will fix it.
yeah. Well, you know,
Michael Parsons says he's a good GM, so that's all that
I'm trying
matters.
to get $40 million from him. I would feel I'm a good GM too, but maybe Jerry Jones watch the Super Bowl and watch the Commanders in an NFC Championship game, and maybe he'll change. Probably not. Let's talk about that Super Bowl. That was a boring game. If you were an Eagles fan, it was probably an amazing game for an Eagles fan. Tough game if you're a Chiefs fan. Can't feel too bad. You've had a lot of success. What do you think about that Super Bowl?
I think it was long overdue. I think the Chiefs got so lucky this year, winning those close games. They weren't blowing anybody out. The refs helped them a lot. A lot of close games against bad teams. This shows you what a good general manager and scouting does. The Eagles are locked and loaded for years.
Yeah, they
The
are.
draft they've had, they just keep going to Georgia defensive players, and my God, they're young. They got the guys they need signed.
Yeah.
They're only going to get better. My God, look at Jalen
Scary.
Carter,
Pretty scary.
Jordan. They took chances on guys that other teams wouldn't have. I think it was domination. Don't let those last two touchdowns. I just wish they
It's
wouldn't have got
46.
those. It was 46 in my eyes.
It was bad.
You know, when people are turning off the Super Bowl, it's pretty sad. But I think the culmination of the Eagles, the way they progressed since their bye, was unbelievable. They just kept going and going and going, and they're going to be there probably for a while up in that tier. I think this could be the down part of Kansas City because I think the other teams that are close to them, like I think Cincinnati, Buffalo, and Baltimore, I think maybe those teams saw this and said, hey, now let's go. Maybe this is the downward slope for them.
Sure.
So, I mean, they had their due. I mean,
5
years. I mean, come on. But
you
I think maybe it's kind of on the downslide for them.
Downside I can take. I can't take downfall like people are saying. People are
Well,
like,
you could see something.
yeah, there was something wrong. And it finally
You could see it all.
reared its head, like all at once. It all reared its head. Like, everything that you were like, Mahomes hasn't played that good. He played horrible. Kelsey's getting old. Kelsey wasn't even visible. The O-line that was actually very bad all year. You saw it completely in the game. No run game.
They were
dominant. That's the thing. They were dominating at every end. So you can't be like, oh well.
You know how hard that is for Cowboys fans to watch that?
Well, the thing is, like,
But I respect them. They're a good team.
they're really good. Like, and so if you
Jalen's
go
a
back,
cool dude.
if you actually want to go back, like 15 weeks ago on this show, I've been wrong about both things that happened in the Super Bowl. I said never bet against Mahomes, and if you bet against Mahomes, you did. And I said in week 2 that the Eagles were broken and wouldn't even make the playoffs. And then after their bye week, they didn't lose a game because they figured it out. If Jalen Hurts figured out, like they figured out that
We thought they were toast.
throw the ball.
I think their coordinators helped more than
That's
they hurt.
it. Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore, I mean,
Kellen Moore couldn't
they
have done
lost
it
him
without us.
already,
Yeah,
but the defensive coordinator was unbelievable. I mean, the talent that they have in the youth
that's
of the
scary.
draft is scary.
DeJean and Mitchell are both 23.
Yeah.
Carter's 23. Milton Williams 25. Jordan Davis is 25.
And they never had a blitz.
No.
It was front four.
No,
it was just
front
front
four the
four
whole
putting
time.
pressure on.
They just crushed him.
There was one guy I'm so happy for. He got to play in the game, and I hope he retires now. Brandon Graham come back from his tricep injury.
Brandon Graham had
It
a
looked
block
like
on
he-
Instagram.
It looked like he was going to be
Yeah, no, I know. I'm
gone
happy
for
for
the
him.
year. He came back, played.
Me and him
the
have
game.
a feud. He blocked me on
Wow.
Instagram.
Wow.
We got to
Who?
fight. Brandon Graham.
Oh, all right.
I'm glad he played.
I'm really happy for him.
It is
He's
really
30
good.
35. You know,
But, who knows? Maybe the Eagles coach is a good. Maybe they do like playing for him.
you have to. I mean, and
How can you knock him out? You can't. You can't knock the guy.
And
What's he been coach for what? How many years?
Been in the playoffs all 4
yeah,
years.
I'd say
Super Bowl.
20,
2
Super Bowl.
21 was first.
Twice out of 4 years. How can you knock that?
Yeah.
Could have won both Super Bowls.
Yeah, you probably should have.
Probably.
And Saquon, they got him now. It just adds. Their offensive line is still great, even though Jason Kelsey, Cam Jurgens filled in
dominant.
perfect.
Giants must have just enjoyed
Again, the
it.
Jets got. What's the guy the Jets let go? What's that big? Look, he's on the team. The guy's a wall.
Yeah.
And the Jets let him go. They got no offensive line.
You go Lane Johnson,
Yeah.
Becton, Jurgens, Dickerson, and Mailata. It was a 7th-round pick. That's the thing.
But they just play as
They
a
do
team.
really well.
They really do play as a
It's
team.
Philadelphia.
And Saquon loves it there.
Clearly.
Looks like they're having fun. They're going to be tough to beat next year. I think they would have
They
beat
could repeat.
Detroit if they played Detroit.
Yeah, especially
Because they would have been on Goff
Detroit
every
was-
pass. Their front four would have been on Goff.
They could go right back. I could see them being right back. Like I look at the NFC, I'm not even scared of anyone from the Eagles. Like I'm not scared of the Lions. Goff, I would never be scared of Goff in the playoffs.
I think the Lions are going to go down losing their offensive court.
Yeah,
I think that's going to hurt. When you lose your coordinator, sometimes that
They miss their
that hurts.
And there's no like dark horse in the NFC. It feels like there's no like, oh, watch out for this team. Like I don't see any team that was bad last year where I'm like they could be good this year.
I think all the teams in the playoffs
Yeah.
can get there again.
Yeah,
I
think it's gonna be one of the first times. It could be 7.
I think it's
all
all
go back.
Except Atlanta with Penix, I could see them
You could-
overtaking Tampa Bay.
if they, but even like Baker looked really good.
Yeah, I was gonna
I could
say
see
Baker.
Seahawks. I could see like the Niners whole Purdy contract situation weighing over them. Debo maybe getting traded, but I don't see how the Eagles look dynastic in the way they. I know it's hard to say that, but it's a first Super Bowl, but it does look like the perfect setup.
I got a feeling that the Commanders are going to go for the guy from Cleveland.
Garrett?
Miles
They
Garrett.
should.
Garrett, I think so.
Miles
too.
Garrett. I got a feeling
They
they're
should
going
go all in.
to go all in. They're going to give up draft picks, give up a player,
Trying to sign Higgins
and just get him in.
I heard the
They
Bills
should be doing
won.
everything.
They're going to the Bills won. Oh,
Yeah.
wow, we don't go there.
I mean,
Jeez, but you know,
That'll
the
be
Eagles looked. You look at their last four
they were
drafts. Oh my God, just A+.
always good, and somehow these high-name players always fall to them. Like Jalen Carter, I know he had the off-the-field issue. That's why I failed the
How don't they fall to the guy in Texas?
Well,
How
he
did
doesn't
Saquon Barkley just fall there?
Michael Parsons fell to us, to be fair. He was the best
I
player
know,
in that
but
draft.
we
He
had a
fell.
chance. We could have went after him.
So did CD. So did Diggs. So we've had some good falls, but they've had every.
I think the Chiefs got to upgrade in a few
Oh, yeah,
positions. Nor I think their
Running
defense is
back.
okay, but they need a running back and another receiver.
Pacheco's good, but I would go.
Pacheco's
Yeah, if
absolutely
Kelsey
good.
retires, they're finished that tight end. So
He's already. Having him back is a negative to me anyway. So like, I know he's still one of the best ever, and he has a relationship with Reed and Holmes, but having him back is a minus to me. So this brings us to the
well,
most.
Justin Tucker got traded to the Browns.
The Browns.
Holy mackerel!
That's the
It looks
most
like
hated
Deshaun.
team.
Deshaun's got a roommate.
That's the most
It's
hated
like
for a
Deshaun
team.
got a Justin Tucker to the Browns. Holy mackerel! Unbelievable.
He is vying for the
What are the odds on that?
biggest douche in the NFL award, you know?
Deshaun,
I thought Deshaun had that locked up for a good while.
Deshaun's got
Yeah,
a
your
roommate.
partner comes with props. He's
I
got
know.
props.
Room.
He's got
I
props.
know. They're back and forth, both of them. So what came out of that game was what we were saying going into that game, which it feels so unfair to me, but it's right. Going into that game, we thought if Mahomes wins this, he's the greatest of all time. That's first repeat ever. He'd have 4. I think the consensus is that he's not the greatest of all time right now. I think everyone kind of agree that he's not. But can he become the greatest of all time? Is there still that shot? A lot of people are saying no. I don't really get that.
To me, he's got to win at least 2 more.
Yeah.
But if you look at the 2 Super Bowl losses,
That's
he's
bad.
been bad. Against Tampa Bay at a 52 passer rating. This game, don't come. The 2 touchdowns at the end of the game, you know what? That was Dak Prescott touchdowns.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. I was about to say that. Hey, you beat me to it.
Oh, you're
It was garbage.
done with that next week.
I went to bed and woke up and there was 22. What the hell?
He's a 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. So those 2 touchdowns, really, he's 50-50 interceptions to touchdown rate. I mean, great player, yes. He's the best right now, yes. Greatest of all time, no.
But can he become the greatest of all time?
He's
That's
gonna
the
have
thing.
to. He's gonna have to win at least 2 more. 'Cause Brady's got a lot. I mean, he's never gonna catch Brady for wins.
No.
And Brady never got blown out in Super Bowls. And Brady won a couple he shouldn't have, and he lost a
A
couple.
couple he should have. That's right.
He never got blown out.
Those
He
even
never
days.
got blown out.
Hey, both of them threw 5 Super
Atlanta
Bowls.
gave him
too.
one. Atlanta gave him one, and
Yeah.
they gave the Giants 2. So
I was gonna say.
and they gave Seattle gave him 1. So
Yeah.
To me, Mahomes is the best right now, but it's tough to be the best right now because there's so many quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But you get to that many
Conference.
Super Bowls, you're great. But I think that knocked him down a peg,
Definitely.
and I know for him, it's probably going to motivate him even more.
Yeah, it's the scariest part. You're getting
Yeah, it's going to motivate him.
So I just don't understand. Like, some people are saying he can't ever be the GOAT now, and I'm like, that's really weird. He's 30. He's been to 5 Super Bowls. He's won 3. Brady and Mahomes through 5 Super Bowls. Their first 5, 3-2. So I get it, but I also look at Mahomes. I look at the league, how soft the league is. Injuries aren't going to be that big of a deal. It feels like they're not going to hit the quarterback that much. He's not going to take that much of a beating. I can see him. Maybe no one's going to go until Brady went, but you could have a good 10 years.
Mahomes has probably got another 8 years.
Yeah. So because it is unfair, but it happens to everyone. It happened to Josh Allen 2 weeks ago when is Josh Allen the best quarterback in the league? Josh Allen's a choker again. Losing to Mahomes. So it is unfair, but Mahomes is the fastest at 10,000 yards, fast at 25,000 yards, fast at 100 touchdowns, fast at 200 touchdowns.
Guys, it's a different game.
It is.
Joe Montana,
It is.
John Elway, he never threw the ball 50
It
times.
is, but if it's a different game, then why hasn't Josh Allen done it or Lamar done? Like, I get it, it's a different game. But if we're looking at everyone, like, he's the only one who's doing it.
To me, all-time stats in any sport don't count.
In a way,
Especially
yeah.
with 17 games. I hate when they say, "Oh, he set a record."
But
he's playing.
all these fastest 2 were before 18 games.
No, I know. Yes.
I mean, 17 game seasons, 18 weeks.
I think right now he is the best, but there's so many good quarterbacks years ago, and it's a shame that they never got to throw the ball.
That's
really it is.
But
Really?
out of everybody, like when you do like the LeBron to Jordan, I obviously think LeBron's better, but Mahomes at 30 is positioned, or is it 29, turning 30? It's positioned better than any other player's ever been in any sport to be the GOAT. Sure, 30 years old. Even LeBron. At 30, we still hadn't gotten the 2016 comeback. We hadn't gotten another championship, breaking records. Like, Mahomes is already breaking records. He's already got 3 himself. Like,
and he's not switching teams.
No, he's the Chiefs forever.
He's not switching.
And it's gonna come down to a legacy thing. And so we say 2. I'm kind of on. You need 4, like in anything.
Not a good 4. Right?
Yeah, it'll give him 5. But I'm 4.
Oh, sorry.
I'm always at 4 for rings in any sport. If you have 4, I can officially put you as the GOAT. Because no one's going to get Brady, and no one's going to go 6-0 like Jordan. Yeah. But so at that point, the way we do it with LeBron now, we're 5 years ago, LeBron, no one considered him the greatest of all time. Now you're getting a lot of people who do. In 8 years, I can see us, if Mahomes has 4 or 5 Super Bowls, like consensusing.
It all depends on injuries.
That's
injuries.
Yeah, injuries. But if everything's
playoff
perfect, in
wins,
8 years,
is
I can
his
see
team
it
gonna be
being a
that good?
consensus. Which is crazy because as soon as Brady retired, we thought no one would touch him for 50 years, and now we're having.
Here's the thing with Brady: he was in the weakest division for probably about 10, 12 years, where the Bills, Miami, and the Jets weren't that good back then. Mahomes has been the same way right now.
But now, it looks like it could change after
now.
That's right. Now it's going to change.
And the Chargers could compete. So if they're going into the playoffs as a wild card, they got to win 3 road games.
Yeah.
It's different when you win your division and your division's easy and you got sort of 6 easy games. I think that is going to catch up with them in the years because I think the other teams are catching up to them. So it's a little harder.
But that's what would have me. It's more of a plus for Mahomes because now for the next 5-6 years you won't be able to say, oh, he just played Denver. It's like Denver looks like they could be really good. The Chargers have a quarterback.
Raiders,
I was going to say, the Raiders could get a quarterback, and they could turn things around. I mean,
Tom Brady at the helm now.
I doubt it, but still, to me, it's just crazy. And it's what I love most about sports, how unfair it is. You go in, you could walk onto the Super Bowl field with the chance to be the greatest ever, and walk off and be like, "You'll never be the greatest ever."
Like that every sport. You have one good game,
yeah,
he's
I love
the best. The next day, oh, he's terrible.
That's exactly.
For them to get to that many Super Bowls,
it's crazy.
With the way the AFC is, with Buffalo, Baltimore, Cincinnati for years, that's an accomplishment on itself. To beat those teams every year and get there.
I mean, someone said it the other day, and it felt fake. There were players on that Chiefs team who have never lost a playoff game.
Yeah, they don't know how to lose.
There were players going into that game. That's their first game they've ever lost.
That's sick, eh? When you think about it,
ridiculous.
That's nuts.
I mean, Trent McDuffie, he's one of them. His first year was the Eagles Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So that's the greatest 3 seasons of all time.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't early Chiefs where it was fun to watch. They were the only team that won back-to-back to make it back for the chance to get a three-peat. I know a lot of people. I would have loved to see a three-peat just because I feel like I'm never going to see one. It would have been really cool to see that happen. I never got to see it in the NBA because I wasn't around for all the sweeps. So
yeah, three-peat would have been.
That
That's the only cool thing.
That would have been really cool. But again, what we can't do is act like I don't want to act in 2 years like Mahomes did not have as bad as a game as he did. He had a horrible game. He looked.
His interceptions were on him.
And he just looked bad.
They were on him.
It wasn't like
He was
against the
forcing
Bucks in 2020 where
Same
like.
thing. He was.
But even 2020, like he was running for his life, trying to make.
Yeah.
He just looked horrible.
He didn't. He ran. We
Yeah,
didn't have
he ran into a lot.
He kept running right into the.
Which, by the way,
Guys
is
in front of him.
the last thing I ever thought was going to happen. I would see Mahomes look scared. You know.
He did. He looked
I
scared.
thought if they lost, I thought it would be like the Eagles just outplayed him. But Mahomes looked inexperienced. Kelsey looked like he didn't want to be
he
there.
actually did.
Kelsey needs to retire because I don't even think Kelsey wants to be there. I think he was hoping he would win this.
He would have retired.
He would. I think that's what he was hoping. But don't go for storybook.
If he's smart, he'll retire. He's gonna get a job like his brother.
Yeah, I'm gonna say,
ESPN or somewhere.
He's got a personality. He'll go right away.
Taylor can take care of him.
I'm gonna say, like,
Leave with all.
do you really want to play football anymore?
I would. I just travel around the world with her.
I don't want to play football anymore. Like if I have that life, you have a job waiting for you. Your girlfriend, who I think we're all kind of assuming at this point is gonna be wife. Like I don't know, it feels that way. And if not, we'll have another album. But it feels like he has one of the greatest reasons to walk away.
Yes.
Billionaire girlfriend. I'll have a job. His podcast is awesome. And so I don't know.
And I think some guys don't know what the same one, just like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I think Kelsey would be a little smarter than that and maybe just walk off.
And like
I hope so.
your guy Peyton, like he won it,
He did.
but he looked horrible that year.
He knew that was.
Kelsey didn't look bad enough to
No,
where
not-
we'll remember him as like
No,
terrible.
no.
So walk off and be like, you start. I mean, no one. What we always forget. And I'm just gonna throw this in here because we'll start talking baseball later. The only people I've seen have flawless last years, Brady and David Ortiz. I looked at David Ortiz's stats the other day. He had 38 home runs in his last year. I forgot he did that. Nobody does that. And so if Kelsey is thinking he's going to be able to do that, he already looks disinterested. I think it's better for them anyways. Let's move on to maybe the biggest news that's ever happened in my sports life. It happened while we were away. It happened the night of my CD release party. And so I was feeling excited. I was like, this is a great night for me. Luka to the Lakers. What are your thoughts on
5
this?
turnovers in the first quarter last night. Come on. No, I'm kidding. That's all
When
I
I
read.
first read it, I thought
That's all
it
I
was
know.
a joke. I honestly
I thought it was
one of those
thought it was
Facebook
kind of a
things,
joke.
yeah.
I thought it was a joke because I saw it on my phone, then I went right to the computer and said, wait a minute, is this?
Thought it was a parody again.
And I still to this day cannot believe that Nico Harrison could be that stupid in the Dallas Mavericks. If I was a Mavericks fan, I'd want my money back for season tickets.
They're getting it back.
I wouldn't even go to a game.
Hey, we did it with
And
Mookie.
it's not Mark Cuban.
We did it with Mookie.
That was different. This is way different.
Is
It
it?
has nothing to do with Mark Cuban. So
Yeah, he's just
sold
came out the
most
other
of
day.
the team.
He said I can't believe they did that.
he sold most of the team. I can't believe that something like that fell into the Lakers.
Yeah.
You trade Luka, who's 25, who you drafted.
He's that young. He might be the best player in basketball.
He's probably the best scorer.
Yeah.
His career is 28.5 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, 35% three-point shooter.
Yeah.
He's triple-double machine.
Yeah.
And the GM comes out and says, well, he's
Overweight.
He's overweight, he doesn't play defense. I don't know if the guys watch, but nobody in the NBA plays defense. The NBA has shifted towards the way Luka and all the Europeans and everybody play. That's the way the game is. And the Lakers got so lucky that this is the 1 year that Anthony Davis hasn't been hurt. And they got to unload him for nothing.
And what happened his first game with the Mavs?
I laughed because
He got hurt.
Oh,
It was
really?
poetic.
it was poetic that happened, and he's out a month, and he just didn't on his own too. It wasn't like he got hit. He just went down on his own. That's just the way he is. And the Lakers got so lucky to get rid of him.
Yeah.
And the clowns for the Mavericks said we want to win now, so we got him. Anthony Davis is going to be 32 next month.
It's ridiculous.
And I don't care, 2029 first-round pick. First-round picks in
Amazing.
basketball are useless. How many of them are actually good every year?
Usually just trade
3 or
those picks
4.
anyways.
You could trade draft picks
That's all
in
it is.
the NBA. The guys coming out of college, by the time they get good, usually it's 3-4 years. You only got to
You get very few right away.
very
Yeah.
few. But the Lakers over the years have had guys fall into their laps and
This
trade.
is the biggest one.
And this is the biggest
Never
one.
seen
I
it.
think it's the biggest trade in history in any sport and the
Could be.
dumbest.
It could end up.
And I thought of you right away because they just got LeBron a tool.
Yeah.
and
Well, that's the
They
thing.
can outscore teams in the playoffs.
They got sure, they got LeBron at 12, he's got 2 years. They just got their star for the next 10, 12 years. Like, I mean, I know he probably won't play 37. He is kind of out of shape, but like maybe 10 years. So we were at Chip and Charlie's, and my friend thought it would be funny to put me on a chair and lift me up on the chair. And my one friend goes, "Oh my God, Evan!" And he throws a phone at me. He goes, "Luka just got traded to Lakers." I'm like, "What? Shut up. I know. You know I like LeBron. I follow the Lakers." And I got off and I went on Instagram. And Shams Charania,
Yeah, he's smart.
I love
He's
him
the best.
because he goes on Pat and he's got a good personality, which a lot of insiders don't. But so his 2 tweets was that the trade, and then the second he must have gotten a lot of people texting him like like, "Are you serious?" The headline was, "Yes, I promise this is real. Breaking Luka Doncic trade." This is Babe Ruth to the Yankees. Like it really is. Like it may be worse than
The
that.
Mavericks will never win again. They don't deserve to ever win
They just
again.
got rid of their culture. Dirk Nowitzki was at the Lakers game watching Luka.
Oh,
They were
wow.
in the finals last year.
He carried them there. That team was not good.
Nothing was
They were
over.
not that good.
Nothing.
That's the issue to me. Like
They're not even a playoff
they
team.
said he's overweight, and then he was overweight all last year. This fat guy then carried you to a finals as a fat guy.
Shaquille O'Neal was
That's
overweight.
the thing. Like you do not need to be athletic in the NBA today. These European players like Jokic are coming over, and they're just better.
Yeah.
They're more skilled. They're more talented. They're
It's their
shit.
game. It's their
It
game.
is.
It's
And-
their game.
And I don't know if I've ever seen Luka dunk. He doesn't need to. He's 6'7", and he doesn't dunk. He's not athletic, but he's better than everyone.
One of the best three-point shooters you're gonna see.
And he was horrible last night, and he hasn't been great yet. He's going to
Save it for the playoffs.
There's gonna be no defense on this team, and I honestly don't care because if you can. This is the best teammate LeBron's ever had, and he's had some good ones. He had Kyrie, he had AD, he had Dwayne. This is
By far the best.
I was going to say,
Alright,
took
for
a
the
top
first
guy.
time since LeBron has maybe been 16, 15, he's not the best player on this team. That's what this is. It's crazy.
It's something when all the other NBA players, stars, and everybody couldn't believe this
They
was
were all
happening.
shocked.
They were all shocked. None of them could believe this was true.
Was this not the night for the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Or maybe a week, I don't know. But
No,
No, it was a week.
Week
Week
before. But Pat Mahomes tweeted out, "This can't be real. There's no way this is real." Micah Parsons, what are we doing? He's obviously not a Mavs fan. Like Micah Parsons tweeted out, "I wanted to run the city with you as like a sport for the next 10 years."
This guy helped Jerry Jones out and down.
Oh my God, he made Jerry look.
They him look smart.
They want to kill Nico Harris. They just kicked somebody out of the arena for mouthing "Fire Nico" on the. They've had protests outside of the arena.
Oh, wow.
Like people are pissed. This is the next guy.
But the Lakers had nothing once LeBron left. Now they have.
Oh, now they do have something.
Yeah,
Now they have
he's that
something
young.
for
I didn't
10
realize.
years.
But they also have a destination now because once LeBron left, like the thing with the Lakers was the cupboards were bare. They had no picks.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis wasn't young. No one was going to want to come to the Lakers. You now have Doncic. By the time LeBron leaves, Luka will be in his physical peak. He'll be 28. People are going to want to come play with Luka. Like this is like Kobe. Like this is like you have your Kobe again.
And I don't want to hear that the Mavericks didn't want him. He was worth the money that he was
Way
going to
worth
get, and they cost him over $100 million by trading him.
Yeah,
That's pretty
because
sad.
yeah,
They didn't want to
that's
trade him $350 million.
Yeah.
Come on.
Throw away 100.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just brutal.
but if he's not worth that max deal, then like who is worth the max deal?
yeah,
25 years
But
old.
teams
top
don't,
player.
like, I don't follow basketball like you guys, but teams don't get that number one guy.
That's right.
Right? Look at the Raptors.
I was gonna say the Raptors had to trade their souls for it. Like,
Yeah. And now
like,
you
sure.
got a number one guy and you send him to a team that's already got a number one guy.
We've also never seen like a number one guy get traded. We saw LeBron leave Cleveland. We've seen
Yeah, left,
AD
that's right.
leaving the
Not
Oklahoma
traded,
City.
right.
You've never seen one
Guys
on one.
requesting.
Yeah, requesting out, saying AD was one of them. I know we forget.
Kevin Durant always wants
KD
all-
got out. But I know we forget that AD was like a one of one guy because he always got hurt after. He was stuck in New Orleans. He was one of one. He asked his way out. He got to LA.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm AD, I'm laughing. I got my ring in LA, and now I'm gonna go get paid, I assume.
He only plays 50 games a year,
So I
so
was say he's got a lot of time to vacation. Him and
Yeah.
Kyrie.
again, you don't trade Kyrie. You keep
Um,
Luka and trade.
But that was the
Kyrie.
weird part. They clearly made it seem like they still want to win. They just are
He wants to
stupid.
win now.
Yeah,
That's not a
it
win
made
now
no sense. It
situation.
made zero sense.
He could have got so much. If you're gonna trade him, he could have got more.
Right, they could have got a
from other
boatload.
teams.
They contacted two other teams, the Timberwolves for
Yeah.
Ant, which at least made sense.
Yeah.
Like, if we were gonna get Ant back, and the Bucks for Giannis. And
I would have asked for Dalton Connect in this trade.
he
or
did,
Somebody.
and Pelinka said no.
Okay.
I have no clue
I don't know how he
pulled
got
it off.
away. He robbed them.
I don't know how he pulled it.
He robbed.
There's a picture going around of Rob Pelinka and Nico Harrison at a coffee shop 2 days before this trade finalized. And no lip readers. I don't want to say we know what happened, but Rob Pelinka looks shocked. Like, that's what everyone's saying. It looks like that's the moment where he said, Luka, we want to trade
I
Luka.
said sign here.
Yeah,
Sign here.
that's the
You
first
sign
thing.
it over?
You want Luka for AD? Like, yeah, we'll give you first. It's ridiculous.
It is worse than the beat.
It
It's
is
going to
way
haunt
worse.
the Mavericks forever.
We can definitely look at this trade in 10 years, and if the Lakers have 2 more championships with Luka, and be like,
You're going to be able to look at it at the end of this year, maybe.
I don't know if
Dallas
they'll
will
win
never
this
win.
year, but I hope-
Dallas will never get it.
This is one of those Red Sox 86 years of curse.
Right.
It seriously is.
Dirk Nowitzki couldn't believe it.
Do you know why it's a curse? Because one more. Like the biggest reason it's like a curse is because your legacy. It was so cool. Your legacy is built off a European superstar, and you got a European superstar who was being mentored by Dirk. You had like the perfect situation, and then you said, "Screw that. We don't care." Like it just meant something to me seeing Dirk in the front row sitting with Luka's parents to watch Luka's first game in LA. It was like, you just lost Dirk. Mark Cuban said it was like seeing his baby, like his kid, be treated terribly.
It's a game now where you have to score 120 points to
And
win.
they can.
He gives you 30 a game.
And you got shooters around him. Like you somehow kept Connect, which is a totally different story. That trade was really weird. And but you kept Connect. Now you have shooters. Now you got people around him. Vanderbilt's playing good. Gabe Vincent or Nowhere's playing good. Rui's good.
LeBron's
Jackson looked good. LeBron, again, I know he was bad last night in the clutch, but he had 16 points in the fourth. Like he's still Austin Reeves. I forgot. So it's weird, and it could be the reason the Lakers get 2 or 3 more, which is really crazy. I hope they do. All right, let's move on to some baseball.
We have a very well-rounded show.
We do.
We're
We're doing
touching on
We're
4
doing everything.
sports today.
Curling next week.
Yeah.
Curling.
The Scotty Championship last night in curling, so we can do it. Let's talk about Vlad Guerrero. If we want to talk about players that don't fall to the sky every so often, Vlad was hailed as the next king of Toronto. He was from Canada. Jays went all in on Juan Soto, wanted to give him $800 million. Vlad reportedly this morning dropped his asking price. They still didn't meet him where he wanted him. What do you think about this whole Vlad situation? He's a free agent now. He doesn't want to negotiate anymore.
Oh, so he's out?
He gave him a deadline. It was 2 nights ago. And they
Oh.
I think Toronto's the cheapest teams, but I see where they're coming from. They're in a division with Boston, the Yankees that spend money, Baltimore, who's young and
I like
good,
what you say,
and are
Boston.
starting to spend money.
Yeah.
Well,
I like
look
what
at
you
the
say.
money in that
I
division.
love it.
If I'm Toronto and Tampa Bay, and if you look at the Jays, their roster is very, very limited.
That's just
without
big
him.
stinks.
Yeah,
They're not good.
they're either
No, it's
old,
bad.
washed-up players or young guys who might have a chance to get better. Their pitchers are old. You never know what you're going to get from them.
He's been hurt too.
Yeah, exactly. They're a 70 to 80 win team, best in that division. So maybe they're thinking, why would I spend $500 million on a guy? Now, maybe they trade him during the season.
right.
Maybe, my
right.
thing is, they're going to trade him to somebody who's going to be desperate before the trade deadline.
Yeah.
At least get something for him. They have to now. They got
Do
no
what they did.
choice.
Do what the Padres did with Juan Soto.
Yeah.
Go get a Hall.
They have no choice now but to do that. My thinking is, why spend $500 million on one player?
When you're on the team.
It's like being in the Dodger division.
Yeah.
Arizona spent a lot of money. You're not going to be better than them.
No.
Why would the Giants, Colorado, why would you spend money? The Padres spent a lot of money. They're
Yeah.
not going to be better than the Dodgers.
Yeah.
So to me, the sad thing is about baseball is, if you're not going to spend the money that 4 or 5 teams are going to spend, is there a purpose of giving one guy that much money? He's a great player. He'll hit you 30.
That's actually very logical. I agree.
He'll bat 300 too. He's one of the few that'll
He's
bat.
a 300 hitter, but to give that guy a 10-year contract,
And
he's
he's
not
really
exactly a
DH.
gym rat.
He's really.
So where's he going?
He's not a gym rat, but I wouldn't be surprised if Boston or somebody,
That's right.
Atlanta or somebody,
Well, we don't got a lot to give up,
spend
do we?
money, go get him.
Yeah.
You know, but you should never be 10 years, 13-year contracts in baseball.
I would
that's
never
the
give up
dumbest
13
thing
in
that
my-
owners have ever done. If you look at Mike Trout,
Yeah.
the Angels are stuck with him.
Yep.
You know, he gets hurt all the time. For 10 years, they're never ever going to be in the playoffs.
Who's the Mets player they're still paying? Bobby Bonilla?
Bobby Bonilla.
They're still paying him. He hasn't been in the league in 10 years.
Well, let's see what the Mets do this year. Is it going to be worth it? Right?
That's the big thing. But Yeah, I would never give out a 10-year contract. I would only if that's their only, if that's what they want, because whatever, I'll spend the money in baseball. It's no salary cap. But I mean, I get you can't pay him because your team's not good, but someone is going to give him that money next summer. Or next winter, someone's going to give him that money. I do think it's going to be the Red Sox. The Red Sox kind of have this year. We have an out with Alex Bregman. I know we're giving $40 million a year, but it's $40 million for 3 years, so it's not like we're giving him a long-term contract. He has an opt-out. There's deferrals. There's all this weird contract talk. But so the betting odds came out the other day. The Red Sox are at number 1. The Yankees are up there. He said he doesn't want to play for the Yankees, but
good for him.
Because he said he likes beating the Yankees. Well, there's a rivalry where you
There
can
we
join
go.
to beat the Yankees. But
I mean, Oakland might swoop in.
yeah, Oakland might give him a $10 contract.
They might swoop.
Well, they're playing in a AAA ballpark, so if you could hit longer home runs, I guess. But but the Jays just kind of need to do that whole "we're not good" thing and play into it.
To me, if they're smart, don't let them go in the offseason and sign with a team in your division. Trade them somewhere else. Maybe the Phillies or the Braves or somebody wants to win this year. Maybe Arizona's having a good year. They want to go get them. Trade them outside.
I guess they have the option not to trade him to a certain team.
Yeah.
But a team like the Red Sox would throw prospects at Vlad.
Yeah.
I don't think they would accept that, but I do believe that finally our ownership, Dave O'Brien, and those sleepy managers
they're waking up.
have finally woken up and said we've been really mediocre. So I do think if it went to free agency, we would get Vlad. If he gets the thing about getting traded to another place is if you finish your season with that team and you're successful, you now live there, you maybe win a World Series, it's kind of hard to leave one of those situations.
If I'm a team, I would talk to them and say, hey, we're going to trade for you.
We'll sign you.
We'll sign you.
This
is what we're offering you.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll.
And there will be a team that's willing to give them all that money.
Yeah.
Like the Phillies, one of those teams that are competing. I can't see them going into the AL East. Obviously, trading into the AL East, I think that would be a little weird. But there are 3 really good teams, and I don't want to count the Yankees, but they do have Judge.
This is how bad baseball is, and I saw it on TV last night. The Dodgers' payroll this year,
Yeah.
is $373 million.
Yeah.
Oh,
Tampa Bay's $43 million.
Yeah.
no way.
Baseball's got to
330 more.
Yeah.
Oh my
Baseball's
God.
got to stop it. There's never going to be quality baseball.
We got the inside scoop.
We don't want to give you inside scoop.
We can't say
give
who.
it, but it could happen.
But, it's a thing. Well, the Dodgers want to pick them up.
That's
Got to be a
stuff
salary
like this
cap.
is
They're
gonna
killing the
happen.
game.
It'll have to be a hard cap eventually, or
It'll
baseball.
definitely happen. It'll end in a lockout.
The reason it has to change though is baseball's already a kind of a dying sport.
It's kind of coming back.
And but it's hard to come back when you live in Oakland. Well, I know they're not there no more, but when you live in these teams that you've lost hope by May.
Look at White Sox games.
Pittsburgh Pirates. Try being a Pirate fan.
At least they have a good. Their stadium gets.
Yeah, but even then, they got excited for like
Look
2
what
months last year.
Look what happened for 2 weeks. Nobody talks about the NBA. The NBA needed that.
Oh yeah.
They needed a trade like that to talk about. Super Bowl's coming up.
Yeah, good point.
Basketball's not very that watchable and popular in the States. They needed something like this to shake it up.
Which is hilarious.
So people talk about.
Because 5 years ago, it felt like the NBA was going to 8 years ago, it looked like the NBA was going to overtake the NFL. Just like how good
I
it
give the
got.
NFL credit, man.
They always hang on.
They're a machine.
That Harden on the Rockets, Curry, that whole thing had them and the ratings for the first time ever. The NBA and NFL were neck and neck, and then it just plummeted.
But it's funny that I saw an NBA player talk about this, and it's totally wrong. He says the NBA gets more popular once the NFL stops. No, it doesn't.
No, never.
Now you got March Madness coming up.
That's
You got
right.
hockey
Both
playoffs.
playoffs. I was gonna say.
You got
playoffs, even
baseball
coming back.
starting.
No,
The
it's-
NBA is in a bad situation.
really
They
bad.
needed that trade.
Yes, that was
you know?
huge.
And
I guarantee you, playoff ratings are higher when
Yes.
you've got LeBron on the same team.
and baseball's needs something where you're not seeing the same teams
Yeah.
spend the money, the same players going.
Yeah, it gets really tiring watching the
It's
Dodgers
tiring
take everybody.
watching the same playoffs.
Oh, if the Dodgers not being I know we usually do it's better for the sport if the best team is in there. The Dodgers not being in the World Series would do great ratings.
Oh yeah, it'd be awesome.
Last
If
year,
they didn't make it to the NLCS, it'll do.
Japan would be upset.
yeah, every time Every time the Lakers lose in the playoffs and LeBron's not there, the ratings go down. They want them to keep going. So now this only adds to it.
LeBron is one of the few, like, him being in the finals every year was amazing for the sport. Whereas, like, Brady being in the finals every year wasn't. Mahomes being in the finals every year isn't.
Yeah, that's actually right.
LeBron's one of the only few where because it was a dying sport. Like, it's not a dying sport. It's still popular in the fact that if you go drive down the street in the summer, you'll see everyone playing basketball on their net outside. But the product they were watching is dying. And I not to give LeBron more credit, but he has been pretty single-handedly. He's the reason for it kind of staying up there, him being in the playoffs.
And I hate when they talk about this on TV. And just because you're a big market doesn't mean everybody's going to watch on TV.
No.
Just because the Dodgers are doing well, guess what? Nobody needs.
I've never
Unless
watched
you
them.
like them, nobody cares.
I never watched.
If you don't like the Dodgers, they're playing at 10:30 at night. You think people are staying up to watch Dodger games in the summer? No.
I know. It's like I want to become an Edmonton Oilers fan, but they play too late.
Yeah.
Don't say that. Just because you're a big market, everybody wants to watch it.
No,
That's not true.
There are two big markets that the MLB will profit off if they are both good every year. It's the Yankees, Red Sox. That's the only if that rivalry is healthy, the MLB profits. So if those teams got all the good players and every year is them battling, those are the only two teams. Not because I'm a fan.
No, but it's kind of like the Chiefs against the Bills now, right? Everybody wants to see them.
Yeah.
No, people do want to watch them.
But it's also like
even if you don't like the team.
If you see Habs and Leafs in the playoffs, like if those two teams are good every year, that's good. The Dodgers have never been that like.
Well,
the
back in the
Dodgers,
day.
I know, but like that was Dodgers Giants like.
The only reason they win, it's not their homegrown, it's not their
No, I'm
talent.
going to get those.
They go pay for people.
Uh,
Pretty easy to win when you got an open wallet.
Yeah, so that's why it's not good.
I
for
can
the sport.
spend $300 million a year, and you can spend 50.
Yeah.
Who's gonna win?
Yeah, that's why it's cap has to come in. That's why it was so much fun a couple years ago when the A's made that playoff push. It was like,
I mean, you get the
It's Moneyball.
Diamondbacks, but now they're starting to spend money.
yeah,
But
that's such.
there's so many teams that nobody wants. They don't have a chance, and we haven't just started spring training.
I know. Yeah, the White Sox are good.
There's 10 teams right now. You can rest assured.
Right, and how sad is that?
And
If you're in that
6
market,
months left.
That's the difference because I know the Chiefs are in the NFL, but right now every team is alive next year.
Always. That's what I love about
Like the
football.
Vikings, we thought were going to be a 5.
Yeah, you guys had them at the beginning of the year. You guys had them up, and they ended up being one of the best.
The NFL has the best parity of any
100%.
sport. There's a
100%.
reason for that.
Yeah, 100%.
There's a reason.
Fabricate.
It's also not just a different argument that we'll do another day. It also is like there's no lottery in the NFL. So if you're really bad, you're going to get better. You're going to get the top pick. And I always like that the last place team should get the first overall pick. I know everyone hates tanking, but I've always been a part of that. It's like I don't want to see.
I think that's one thing the NFL has to change.
Really, because like the NBA, they have the last 8 teams have just about as good of a chance to get a top 3 pick.
I think
That's
in the
what I like.
NFL, the bottom 2 teams at the end of the year,
Should play.
they
I'm
play
okay with
each
that.
other, and
I'm
the
fine with
winner.
I like that.
I'm
and
fine
they
with
play
that.
the week before the Super Bowl.
I'm absolutely fine.
They can,
No Pro Bowl.
They can scrap the
Okay.
Pro Bowl.
Right. I agree. That's
Winner
a,
of that game,
write that down. Send that to
winner
what's
of that game gets the pick.
Let's talk to Dave Hodge, see if he has any pull with Roger Goodell. I'm dead serious. I've been saying
That's
that's a
one
really
way
good
of
idea.
stopping it.
That's a very good idea.
And it would make it fun for the fans. It really would.
But would you want to be in the toilet bowl as a player? Like, would you even care?
Yes, you'd want to win.
You'd want to win.
You want to win to get
Yeah.
that draft pick. You're playing your ass off.
That would be a great product. Who are the last 2 teams this year?
Tennessee and
Yeah.
is it the Giants or something?
Will Levis and Drew Lock would be a lot of fun to watch.
No, but
I'm being serious. It would be fun to watch these 2 terrible teams.
I mean, as a quarterback of one of those teams, would you really want to win knowing they're going to draft a quarterback and that'll be your last game?
All right, don't
hope you don't
send it around your
Now you got to go like 75% passing, knowing
We gotta get the logistics.
You got to win. Did you see
Still
the last
playing
game?
for a contract.
That was on fire.
There's still some kinks.
Still playing. Yeah, we'll figure it out. So Vlad, do you think he'll be a Blue Jay past the deadline?
No.
I don't. I hope so because that means maybe we can get him next year, but I don't think so. Predictions if he does make it to free agency, who takes him?
I'm going to say either Boston, Philadelphia, or Atlanta.
I'm gonna go with the Red Sox. Just out of our Dominican heritage, and
That's right.
he's a Red Sox fan.
Pedro.
He's a big man again. All right, we're gonna do something we don't actually ever do.
Let's go,
And we're not
Canada.
gonna do any listen. I like hockey. I think you like hockey a little bit.
I think more noise.
We don't. Yeah, but it's also because I've never had a good team. I love it when my team's good. We don't know like the ins and outs. I know the ins and outs of playing the game because I played it my whole life, but I don't know the fourth line center on the Anaheim Ducks. So I'm not going to throw out the statistics at you. What does the Canada-U.S. game mean today?
Tonight, well, again, it's for bragging rights.
Yep.
I think the NHL actually taught the NBA a lesson on what to do.
School them.
I think.
Yeah, this was a brilliant move.
I don't like shutting down for 2 weeks, but what they did is actually good. You just hope a player doesn't get hurt.
And there's been a couple.
I was surprised
McAvoy's out.
Kazakhstan wasn't in it. I was surprised they didn't have a team.
They didn't have 4 lines. They didn't have 4 lines from,
They're always
They're always in the Olympics.
they're always in the Olympics for some reason, but you just hope nobody gets hurt.
Yes.
And to me, again, I've said this to you before, maybe people don't agree, but it's sad that players in sport try harder for their country than they do for the owner that is feeding them and their family millions of dollars.
I don't agree that happens in the
I don't think in the
playoffs.
NHL. I think it happens in the NBA all the
In
time.
the NBA all the time.
But I don't think it happens in the NHL.
Giannis was the biggest guy who does that.
No. In the NHL, they play
Joel
hard in the
Embiid
playoffs.
sells it for me.
You got it. Yeah.
I'm going by Joel Embiid.
But you got to remember the NHL like those guys aren't getting paid this crazy amount of money.
No. I just
Yeah. So like they're not. I mean, compared to like people like us, they're making great money. But
they're
like
going all out if they're playing
hockey
the
players,
Columbus Jackets.
hockey players.
The way-
Maybe not in the
every
regular
game.
season,
Yeah, that's what I
but
mean.
in the playoffs,
This is
this is
the
a
playoff.
playoffs.
But the hockey
playoff.
players do seem to care more about performance than any other player. Like you don't see like load management in the NHL.
No, yeah.
But like you're right. Basketball, like
But they're actually
Giannis,
hitting each other,
Ginobili,
which is
yeah,
scary.
they're killing each other.
Which is scary.
They're,
Yeah,
the
the
owner of a team-
fights in 9 seconds.
As an owner of a team, I'd be scared that my player is
What was
going to get
it?
injured.
First game of the round robin, it was us and I
We played.
think Finland.
No, Sweden.
Sweden. That's Rasmus Dahlin, maybe the best defensive player in the league, and Connor McDavid, maybe the greatest player ever, at least talent-wise. Dahlin dropped McDavid, one of the biggest things I've seen ever. This is 2 of the best players in the league. So it's definitely that what I.
But they do in hockey. They really do have pride for their country. I mean, me and you were old enough to remember the Summit
But
Series.
he's
Like,
right
that was
in the
unbelievable.
fact that they all seem to, like, even in basketball, like, they all seem to have this like really weird like pride. Like LeBron, that gold medal means more to him than the NBA championship.
LeBron would have played Sunday if it was an Olympic game,
Yeah.
and he couldn't play in the All-Star game. He would
All
have
right.
played in. He would have.
He would have though. He absolutely would have.
I guarantee you.
There is this weird, like this weird.
I don't consider it weird, though.
Not
I think
weird,
it's a-
not
I think
weird,
it's
but
a
it-
great patriotic.
It is.
Joel Embiid was healthy enough to play in the Olympics, and he ruined the Sixers season this year.
But I don't look at that as like playing
That's
for your country because he's supposed to play for Cameroon. He was born in Cameroon.
No, I know.
He wanted to
He
play a
played
part
for
of
the
a super team.
And
I think I was
it
with
cost the
Yeah,
Sixers
he wanted
and
to
the
go back.
owner the whole year.
He wanted to go back. That's what it felt like. But like, there are some guys like Luka.
You just hope it
Giannis,
doesn't happen in
no.
hockey. You just hope
I hope
nobody
not.
gets hurt.
But back to hockey.
But this has been the most, and I'm a Sabre fan, so it doesn't say much.
That's right.
The most
This
fun
is-
I've had watching hockey
In a while.
in a really long time.
Tonight
Even when we
will be
lost
the
it.
most watched. It'll be the
Tonight
most watched.
should be, and I hope it's us who wins it, but it should be like a cinematic experience watching. It
And
should
I will
be
say,
like Vancouver.
this game, just like the Russian-Canada
It
series,
has
there's
something behind it.
the political aspect to it,
Absolutely.
obviously, but you have to remember, and any American out there, if you're listening and watching, we've won 55
Yeah.
international championships. They've won 5, so we could lose. They have the better back end. Their goalie is phenomenal.
They have the better team.
Their defense, I think we have the better first 2 lines, maybe. But even them, I mean, I can't stand them. They got Eichel, they got Matthews,
Yeah.
but we've got a good team. If we lose, there's no shame in it. That's a great
That's
hockey.
that's what I do want to tell people. I saw a post the other day. But it's not close. People are saying we got to do it tonight so we can own hockey from Canada. It's like, you do not own hockey. Believe me, it's still our sport.
But that's
And-
how Americans are.
I didn't hit it.
All right.
They're like, let's win.
We'll take it.
If they won a curling tournament, they'd be working.
Now, me-
I want to see the American cricket team. I want to see them go play and try.
Me and Evan can confirm because we have season tickets and we sit around American folks that yell out things in a game.
They
They
don't
don't
know hockey.
get a lot. I had a guy on one of our posts say that they dominated us the other night. We had the puck in their end 7 more minutes than them. They have a great
They have a great
goalie.
goalie. Hell, that's a
Understand
great
that you have the best goalie in the world.
But we do sit around Americans at the games. They're often saying, "No, Americans, you are not dumb."
We love you.
We know a lot of very smart Americans, but we also know a lot of Americans who think they know better than everyone, and they don't. One thing I gotta give dumb Canadians. The dumb Canadians admit they're dumb. You know, I've never sat around and said, I've talked about like, you know.
I don't talk about things they don't know.
I don't. But there are a lot of Americans.
We got a lot of American friends. We love everybody.
And you guys are also.
But when it comes to hockey, sometimes you might want to.
I mean, you know, the next Olympics, if they win a gold in ping pong, are they better than
That's
the Chinese?
me.
No,
That's what I always
it
do.
just happened to
Again, I want to see the American cricket team go and play. I want to see, because they'll try and take. So
Who are we picking?
I'm thinking Canada just off pride. I'm really scared. I think good goalies,
I'm
good
extremely
pitchers, good
scared. I have to
quarterbacks.
admit, it's just this is no.
I would like to see Canada win, but
This is 2010. This
I
feels
think
like
it's a
Vancouver.
toss-up, so.
This feels like the Vancouver Olympics. Felt like there was something, and that wasn't even a weird political plan.
Here's what it comes down to: Will Biddington let in another
That's
softie?
all goalies.
If he lets in a softie, we're
right away though. If that first goal is softy, he's out.
I would call him.
We switch. Like this is a great, and this also what's kind of behind this game is, and I've talked about it this year. Is Crosby the greatest Canadian ever?
I
dead
think he's
serious when
already
I say
there.
that.
I think he's
You know,
already there.
people like Terry Fox.
27 and 1 in international play.
That's the thing.
He still looks
You
good
know what's
too.
going to happen with these players? The next week, their games is going to be a downer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
They
sure.
go from this
they're going from
to
the
this.
heights.
So the goalie, Connor Hellebuck,
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think he'll play his first.
he
game.
won't play a few games because they're
At
going
least,
to be
at least
white,
the first game back.
you know.
McDavid said the other day, we cannot do this every year. We can do this every
It's
other
too
year. The physical and emotional tax it's
It's the
having.
emotional thing too.
It's emotional, but it's also like, it's always more physical in these Olympics and
Oh yeah.
international
You got those
They want to
Kachuk
kill
brothers
each other.
want to kill people.
They want like, and for some reason hockey's always had more of a butting heads country-wise. Like, you don't have butting heads in basketball because no one
And I-
really ever
Well,
competes.
this country.
I saw something on Facebook today. The Kachuk brothers have now surpassed Marchand as the most hated people in.
I like them too. Before.
Yes.
They were so much fun to watch. But Marchand, that's another thing. Marchand, you need to be an asshole.
He better be our Marchand
You better
tonight.
be an asshole.
Be the
bro.
guy we hate tonight, please.
You know what? I don't want to just see you licking people in the regular season.
Yeah,
If you're
that's
gonna
right.
lick someone tonight, lick
Go
someone.
lick Eichel, please lick
Go
Eichel.
lick someone. You're gonna do it against Tampa Bay Lightning and like.
Listen, I had to watch Jack Eichel hoist the cup. I do
No.
not want to see.
No.
He said this is his biggest game. I go,
It is. This is these. That's the weirdest thing. Out of any cup, this is these players' biggest games they'll ever play.
yeah,
That's
he said
the
it's
weirdest
biggest game of my
part.
life.
It's so it had to be in freaking Boston. It should have been Canada. All right. That's all we're gonna talk about today. I feel like
That's right. We don't have picks of the week
No
anymore.
picks of the week.
I won by this.
Let's do spring training for tomorrow. I know the Red Sox are playing the Huskies, the college team. Who's gonna win? I got the Red Sox.
I got the Dodgers to win 130 games.
They win today? I don't know. It was the only game today. They could win 130 games. All right. We'll be back next week, maybe. Sometimes we go on 2 week
It'll
break.
probably be
if someone's sick.
every other
Yeah,
week.
we'll probably be every other week if someone doesn't get sick or.
Yes. Sorry.
I'm kind of due, so it's been a while. So all right, thank you for watching. Enjoy the game tonight.
I'm Reg.
I'm E. Thank you. See you.